Hiya, and welcome to quite possibly the longest non-furry visual novel playthrough that I've ever done. In case you didn't know, my name is Theta Dog, and I like to scream profanities and complain about people with their dicks being out on the internet. It's a fun hobby. There is a lot to go through here. I have about 37 pages worth of notes, and that's a lot. Don't really have much of an intro written down, if at all. I really don't like scripting videos. So, anyways, this game holds a special place in my heart, in case the title wasn't clear. It is going to be a long as hell video, so that's why there's timestamps down there. And let's just hop right in because there's a lot to cover. So let's customize our character and just hop right in. So we start off our story with the main character that we named Adrian going to tennis practice. Not long after we get there, other members start showing up. After everyone shows up, we get to pick our practice partner, and we choose Coach. This video, for the most part, is about him. We start practicing with Coach. He wants us to practice our shots. We practice a lob shot, which is long and high, and a drop shot, which is barely hitting out over the net. Not long after we finish practicing our shots, Chester is on the ground. He's just casually dying. Spencer is murdering him in a casual manner. It's just regular Sunday afternoon activities. Coach yells at Chester to get up and get to work, to which Chester does so because he gets a little spooked. Chester hits a ball a little too hard and it whacks Coach right in his nuts, and Coach proceeds to flip the fuck out. Chester, just like a Pokemon, uses Flee, and it's super effective. We set Coach down on a bench where he's cradling his injured testicles. Darius walks over and he wants some details, and we're like, no. Soon after, we ask the Coach for a ride home, and he says yes. Coach drops the main character, Adrian, off in a shady area. And it looks like my hometown. It really does. It's kind of scary. So, Adrian, lives in a homeless shelter, where we see Maria, and Maria is literally mother, and you better fucking remember that. And also Richard is there. They're all back working, and we decide to help them out. After we help them out, we go to work on our homework, and we pass the fuck out doing homework. We wake up and go to class. No one is around, which is a little strange, except Coach. He tells us that he decided to, have students turn in their projects and then leave. So we turn in our project, and we decide to stick around because we're pretty cool. We're Gucci like that. Some of the students did not read the assignment, but we did because we're smart. So turns out Coach published a book, and we're like, can we buy one? Coach gets all flustered and he just gives us a copy, and we proceed to pass the fuck out at our desk. Coach soon after wakes us up from our dream of nothing, and we go to our math class. Afterwards, we go back to Coach's room, where we pick up our paper, and then we go back to the homeless shelter. Back at the homeless shelter, Maria and Richard are working on the garden. Let's help out, literally mother. After we finish helping them, we go to our room where we read Coach's book. We read all the pages, which there's only 7 at the time of recording this, and we get into bed. Richard walks in. Richard. And we help Richard back to his room. Dream time. We are visited by the fairy godmother. Wait, no, that's copyright. I cannot afford the licensing. We are visited by the Bara godmother, which is legally distinctive, and we see men. Our man is Coach, and we almost kiss him. Unfortunately, we get cock-blocked by the alarm clock. We wake up and we decide to coach, because I guess that's a normal thing to do. Jesus Christ, Andrew Glauberman. Big mouth reference. We decide to go take a shower. We literally boil ourselves alive. And we help Maria out with the garden. She gives us a $20 bill. I mean, we don't want the $20 because she's done so much for us already. And she's like, no. Take it. Take it. And we're like, okay. We go to the tennis courts. Turns out there is a practice game happening on Friday. It is currently Wednesday, my dudes. We ask all the questions about it because we want all the coach love. And we decide, and we go and practice with Coach, where we learn a slice shot. We get it the first try. We immediately forget all the information. Thank God we have time travel. The save system. There is no time travel in game. We struggle a little bit with the slice shot, which Coach decides to help us out. A little too sensually. We tried out on our own, and our face is red. Coach is like, hey, why is your face red? Why do you look like a clone of Larry the Lobster? And we're like, no, I'm good. Then we learn a kick serve. We feel confident about our serves, and Coach gives us another ride home. He asks us if we told people about his book yet, and we're like, yeah, we totally did. We're a liar, pants on fire. And then we pass the fuck out. After we get back to our room. We wake up and we are sore as fuck from the previous day. We go to class. Darius can see all the signs of gayness. He wants all the details. After the lecture, we decide to join Coach in working out with him, where we work on our stamina. After changing, we decide to do a little peek, like a little snooping Tom on Coach in the shower. Because we're creepy. Afterwards, we go home. We go to Coach's classroom, and he goes over everything again. And we ask all the questions again. We decide to ride with Coach, to which Spencer calls Coach out. And he's like, fine, Chester can ride with us too, I guess. So naturally, he tosses Chester into the backseat and we're up front with Coach. We're on the road again, and Chester calls Coach out by being like, hey, why am I in the back seat? Makes more sense for me to be in the front. Coach is like, yo, yeah, well, Adrian asked me first. Chester says, get a room. And we're like, maybe we will, right, Coach? And Coach proceeds to go silent. It's a pretty awkward drive. We make it to the courts and we meet up with our opponent. We decide to study him. Which pays off because we fucking win! It's dinner time and Coach takes us all to a nice restaurant. Afterwards, he takes us home. We get ready to go to Coach's book signing event. We suddenly remember that, hey, we need to invite people, so we go down and we ask Maria if she wants to join us. And she's like, yes, I will join you. Maria will join us. And she gets Richard to go along too. We get to the bookstore, and Coach is very happy to see us. He is happy to see Maria. We call Maria, we refer to Maria as our friend. Remember this, because it is important later. We completely forget about it. We ask to buy a copy, and Coach accidentally knocks all the books over. He bends over to pick them back up. We see he's wearing a jock strap. Oh wow. Coach mentions how it's hard to get out of bed. We're being a little shit. I don't know why I put that in my notes. It's because of something else entirely. That is explained later. Maria leaves, and after about an hour, we leave with Coach. We arrive at a buffet where we and the Coach talk about classes. Coach gets dessert, and it is absolutely terrifying. It is a land of sugar. It is a literal pile of sugar, where Coach drives us home, and we're like, hey, can you sign my book? And he autographs it for us, and we go to bed. We help Maria and Richard with the yard, where we are digging for the posts because we need to work on our strength. Maria makes lunch for us and Richard, because she's epic like that. It takes us all day to help them. And we completely forgot about Coach. We completely forgot about him because we are horrible people. We take a shower and then text him. He did not answer any of our texts or our calls, and we go to bed worried. We get to practice. Coach isn't there. We do our normal routine. Coach still isn't there. Spencer takes over the coaching for the day, and we do a doubles match. Coach hasn't answered Spencer's calls either. Darius suspects something is up. He wants all the details. We go home, and we are stressing the fuck out, and Maria is like, hey, you should help. Hey, we should bake a cake, and we're like, okay. So we bake a cake with Maria, and we talk about how we're feeling. After, we go to our room. We check our phone. No reply from Coach. We grab some cake and leave for class. Coach isn't at the school. Spencer decides to give us his address and we go to Coach's house. We knock on the door. No answer. The door is unlocked, so we just, do a little entry. And Coach is home. He flips the fuck out. And he's like, oh, whoa! And he sees that we're there, and he's like, oh. He doesn't know what day it is, and he goes to clean himself up. We see his stuffed bear that he was cuddling, and it's seen better days. We also see a pill bottle. It has his name on it. It's antidepressants. Coach comes back, and he isn't mad that we were snooping around his personal shit. Coach decides to talk to us about some of his issues. Turns out we caused his last mental shutdown. Coach calls himself a fat bear while talking, and we suddenly remember that we have cake. He jokingly gets offended, and it's hilarious. He absolutely destroys the cake. Coach orders pizza for lunch, and while waiting, he tells us about the pool in the back. The pizza then arrives, and we spend the next few hours eating pizza and watching TV. Coach is in pain, so we help him by giving him a massage. He tells us to stop. Coach then gets ready for the day and drops us off where we usually get dropped off. We get to our room and read the autograph that he left us. It's adorable. We get to practice. Coach isn't there yet. Darius is being a little shit. He wants all the details, but it is important that he is being a little shit. Coach shows up and we play a rally with Darius where Coach is watching. Darius falls and he pulls us into his lap. Coach storms over and he looks pissed off. Or Darius is like, oh, it's just friendly, it's friendly. And Coach storms off. Darius wins the match, and we show him the move that we used. Go to get water, and we talk to Coach for a bit. We then go to the bathroom while Darius practices the serve. Darius sneaks behind us and does some inappropriate stuff. We decide to wait and see what happens. We exit the bathroom, and Coach is getting pissed off at Chester for no goddamn reason. We and Spencer split the fight, and we confront Coach about his behavior. He gets pissed off at us. Hey man, there's no reason to get pissed off at us. Coach calms down and ends practice. He also apologizes to Chester, and Chester admits that he was also kind of at fault. Coach drives us all the way home, and Maria invited him to dinner. And it all suddenly hits for Coach. We take a shower, and Coach goes through our phone. We know this because we see the little marks on our phone from his fingers. We then join Coach and Marie for dinner. After dinner, we see the Coach out, and we explain to the Coach that we're homeless. We decide to make plans to go out with Coach for Friday. He goes home and we head inside. Maria questions us about what happened. We then go upstairs and lay down. We text Coach for a bit and then fall asleep. We get to the school and Darius catches up with us. He wants to know what happened. He wants all the details. Eventually we get to Coach's classroom and the lecture is about poetry. We go to our math class, it's boring. We decide to meet Coach in the cafeteria, and we're talking about plans for a date. He doesn't realize the wording. We decide to see a comedy. Coach asks us about our classes, and we have some online classes. He's like, don't slack off in your online classes, and we're just like, we won't, don't worry about us. Afterwards, we go to the track. We get back home and we check some movie times, and then we send the movie times to Coach. We grab business casual clothes and head out, but we talk to Maria first, and she's like, yo, have fun at practice, and we're like, alright, cool, thank you, literally, mother. We make it to the practice and we do our stretches with Coach. Coach decides that us and Darius should practice together, and we practice our serve. Later, Coach pulls out a ball for mini tennis. It's a Z ball. Dragon Ball Z? We start the game and we decide to play dirty. We tell Darius that we might have plans. Darius is like, what? You gotta fucking tell me. We're like, nah, fuck you. And we win the match. Afterwards, we go with Coach to the locker room to change and we take a shower. But we forgot to take underwear with us. Coach is like, hey, you gotta, oh, well, hello. We turn around. Coach doesn't see, but he sees our ass. Anyways, we get dressed and then we go to the buffet. Also, we might get a job working at the campus store. Coach is talking with us about the buffet and we get a whole ass cake. We can't eat anything else after 5 bites, but we eat a strawberry after Coach's fork. Afterwards, we decide to walk with the Coach to the theater. We get snacks. How the ever-loving fuck can he eat more? And we go into the movies. After the movie, Coach drives us back to the shelter. We show Coach what we worked on with Richard, and we go back inside after Coach leaves. Coach texts us after he gets home. We wake up and get ready for Coach to pick us up. Send us a text letting us know that he picked up breakfast. Coach picks us up, and we eat the breakfast on the way over. Coach let things go in his backyard. Not that backyard. Although his ass is nice. His house is backyard. His house has an ass? We get back to Coach's house, and he changes into overalls. It's pretty bad in the backyard. We soon get to work weeding the flower bed while Coach mows the lawn. Coach unbuttons his overalls and lets them hang. Not that. The little straps, he lets them hang. We go inside to eat lunch and it's club sandwiches. Afterwards, we go outside and start trimming bushes, not that bush. We work on the yard for a couple of hours. Coach then takes his shirt off, and we go to the store with Coach to pick up some lights to sort of accent his yard. Yay! Walmart trip. Wait, is it Mallward or Walmart? Walmart trip. The yard looks better. We drink some lemonade while talking to the Coach outside. And Coach, he orders a pizza for dinner, and the pizza arrives early. The Coach is in his underwear. We find this out by walking in on him. He wandered into his closet butt naked. He was butt-ass naked whenever he entered his closet. And we're just like, it's a shame that I missed it. Oh. He's like, what the fuck was that? And we're like, nothing! He's like, that's what I thought. Here's the money. So we take the money, and then we go and pay for the pizza. After eating the pizza, Coach takes us home and we sit with him on the patio. Things are going well, and Coach, he's all like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm bisexual. That is a fucking bombshell to just drop. Like, okay. He goes to leave, and we blurt out that we like him. We are officially dating Coach. We give him a goodnight hug, and we go to bed. Don't expect any special treatment from him, though. We wait for Coach to pick us up. Maria checks on us while we're waiting, and She believes that it can be an amazing relationship despite the fact that it's unprofessional as fuck. Coach arrives and he takes us out. He thinks Maria knows. She does. You can never fool literally mother. We get to the amusement park. Oh shit, it's an amusement park. Yay, Disney World. Wait, no, I can't afford that. Sydney World. There we go. It's Sydney World, which is legally distinct. We go on the bumper cars, and Coach has road rage. He's going to ram us hard with the bumper cars. We repeat it to him, and he starts blushing. And then Coach starts ranting about his students. He's like, what the fuck? Why the fuck did you use a pink pen on the fucking assignment? That's not normal. That is not what it says on the syllabus. After the bumper cars, we go on the carousel. It's pretty nostalgic, and Coach reminisces about his time with his ex. That is a big word for so early. After the ride, we get on the roller coaster, and we make a fat joke when getting in. Coach is like, hey, are you making a fat joke? And we're like, yeah, we're making a fat joke. And he's like, oh, okay. He got scared. Honestly, same. I am a huge fucking coward. We go play some games. We almost win the throwball game. We get a token from the ring toss. We beat Coach in the water gun game, and we kick his ass at basketball. Coach gives us all the tokens to spend, and we get him a giant stuffed bear. He loves it. We see a fortune teller. She tells us something about love. She's like, one of you has been hurting for so long, it's gonna go great. Like, okay, yeah. We are taken to the Ferris wheel, and we act nervous to build up our uwu stat. Yay! We have enough experience for basket weaving! Coach holds our hands as we get higher and more nervous. While descending, he asks us to call him Harold. We struggle for a bit, but succeed. We then head to Harold's place, and we talk for a bit. Harold calls us cute. We finally kiss him! We get cock-blocked by the doorbell. Oh, god damn it! It's Diana, Harold's ex-wife. Harold takes us home, and it's a little awkward. We get home, and we kiss him on the nose. Maria fucking teleports in. She scares the fuck out of us, and we tell her everything, and she's a little worried. We go to bed, and Harold texts us, but it's a dry text. We barely slept. Coach canceled practice for the day. We're worried that Coach is going to toss us aside. After stressing the fuck out, we go to the gym. Oscar is a little too intense for us. We hadn't heard from Coach all day. We get back home. We send him one last text, and he replies, but it's worrying. We wake up and rush to class to see Coach, but he's not there. Darius knows something is up. We go to math class. Still stressing the fuck out. After our math class, Spencer gives us a ride to Coach's house. We enter his house through the back door, and we find him in bed. We decide not to wake him up. And we start cleaning his house. Coach gets defensive about a possible intruder before realizing it's us. Foreshadowing. He didn't mean to make us worry, he just kinda did. He was drinking. Coach talks to us about Diana after cleaning himself up. Apparently, Diana tried to have sex with Harold. And Harold almost overdosed on his medication after drinking. He almost commits suicide. Hang on, I'm going to stop for a minute. I just want to say this. If you're thinking about hurting yourself or worse, please reach out to someone. I'm going to go more in depth about why I'm like, whenever topic of suicide comes up, I stop and like, oh, you need to reach out to someone. You will find out more information about that later in the video, but for now, back to the video. He asks us to be his boyfriend, and we say yes. Harold gets ready to have dinner with us and Maria, and we kinda, sorta, maybe pass the fuck out while waiting for Harold. Later, he wakes us up and we go to the shelter, and Maria asks about our date with Harold. We have lasagna for dinner. Maria might consider letting Harold help her. The key word here is might, and I think in this case, Maria's entire thing is fuck no. We guide Harold out, and he's all like, he isn't that much older. Bitch, you're 33. Harold gives us a kiss goodnight, and he gets home safe. We wake up. God damn it, we forgot to text Spencer. Darius wants all the spicy details. You can't have them. And Coach shows up. Spencer takes us for practice because, yeah, Spencer wants to keep us distracted from Coach. Spencer then proceeds to give us a Disney Fast Pass straight to hell in the form of practice. And Coach starts showing off for us. After talking to Coach, we go back to Spencer and we told Coach to just slay a little less. We almost fucking die to Spencer. And Darius starts to push our buttons and we're like, God damn it, you won't get all the details. You don't get all the details, Darius, shut the fuck up. Coach soon takes us to the homeless shelter. And we go inside to tell Maria that we're going out. She's like, oh, okay, that was fast. We go back to Harold and he takes us to a cafe. Harold talks to us about how he's ready to start healing. He then asks us about what we're considering for a major in school, and we tell him that we're considering business management as a major. Our food arrives and it tastes amazing. Coach likes to go to musical theater. Coach pays the bill and we go back to the shelter. Us, Harold, and Maria have a very short conversation at the shelter and we guide him out. Give him a little kiss on the nose. And Maria sneakily watched. We go back inside. We go upstairs to our room and we trade selfies with Coach for contact pictures and we pass the fuck out. Time of recording, I'm like not even halfway through all my notes. Well, actually, I'm a little over halfway through all my notes and it's already been like half an hour. We wake up. Time to rework our assignment for Coach, and by that I mean we just read it. In spring's arrival, hidden love appears anew, unknown to the world. Our haiku is all good. Wait, is that a haiku? Hang on. In spring's arrival, hidden love appears anew, unknown to the world. Yep, that's a haiku. We get to class and the coach greets us. We sit down next to Darius and he does some inappropriate things. He is very much wanting all the details. We volunteer to go first. Coach, he loved it and he got flustered. After everyone read their haikus, Coach gave a lecture on sonnets. And after class, we go up to the coach. He asks us to reread our haiku. Okay. In spring's arrival, hidden love appears anew, unknown to the world. We also wrote it down for him. We hand it to him, and we agree to meet him for lunch and head back to the math class. Head to the math class, not back to it. Darius spooked us. He fucking knows something is up. He wants all the details. We meet up with Coach for lunch, and he asks us how math class is going, and he's not good at it. We're like, what? You're not, hang on. Gotta go. X cubed plus y cubed plus z cubed is equal k. That is equal to the cube's problem. He's like, no, shut the fuck up. That is math. I am bad at math. Can you not do that? And we're like, okay. We finish eating and we go to the campus supply store. We get the job. All we had to do was show up. It was literally the easiest interview ever. Ted shows us around the store, and the job isn't too hard. And Ted lets us dip the fuck out. We excitedly go tell Coach that we got the job, and Coach drives us home. Coach then heads off, and he almost says, I love you. Maria, we talk to her for a bit, and she agrees to go to our game. We go to our bed and pass the fuck out. We go to the courts with Maria and Richard. After we make it to the courts, Coach has us join the others in stretches. Darius is suspicious of our life. He wants all the details. Spencer tells him to shut the fuck up. Not in those words. Darius is a little pissed off, but it's okay. It's a-okay. We use the kick serve during warm-ups and Coach leaves. Our opponent walks up and we play it safe. All matches will be different, and we fucking win. We are the champions, my friends. Coach and Maria come over to congratulate us. If no one was around, Coach would kiss us. He'd give us a little kiss. We go to cheer everyone else on, and Coach smacks our ass. It was a little too long and sensual. The opposing team goes home and Coach gathers everyone to celebrate. Everyone goes to Coach's house to celebrate. Darius goes to check the pool out. We decide to check on him. And Darius confronts us. So we're like, yeah, we're dating the coach. And he's like, well, do you know how to... And we're like, no, we don't know how to sex. We're a virgin. And Darius is like, oh, fuck me harder, daddy. And then Darius is convinced that all the coach wants is sex. The pizza shows up, and Coach tells us he's happy everyone is here. After everyone eats and leaves, Coach is about to clean alone, and Maria's like, nope. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Go get me a broom. Shut the fuck up, Coach. Let's not argue with literally Mother. We all clean up, and Coach drives us home. Coach tells us to wear something casual, and he gives us a kiss goodnight. Sleep is for the weak. And we aren't weak. We are just excited for Coach. We wake up and get ready. We then talk to Maria for a bit, and Coach shows up to pick us up. His idea of a nice date is a romantic dinner for two. Throw in the Great British Baking Show, and I'll ask that bear for his hand in marriage. Coach hadn't cooked for a while, and he's putting a lot of effort. His house smells like this. It smells nice. It smells like vanilla. Coach's book is doing amazing, and we head to Coach's office to read some poetry. Harold gets things situated, and he looks at his wife's picture. Harold is going to put the pictures away. We look through Harold's notebook of poetry, and it's pretty good. Then Harold comes back from the restroom. His poems were sad. He should publish them. He got on his computer, and he left to prep for dinner. Let's go through his search history like a little shit. His searches. How to not be depressed. Honestly, mood. His book. Honestly, understandable. How to make taste good. What the fuck? Does taste good? No it doesn't. Can food make taste good? How to make men... Already said it, but spoiler alert, it doesn't taste good. We read up on his depression. Read through the page. Seriously, if you need help, please contact someone. We go watch some TV. After we decide to shock Harold with a hug, we are here for him. We go to the dining room for dinner, and we enjoy the chicken that Coach made. Coach is worried he's boring. He really isn't, and chocolate cake is a fast way to his heart. Coach starts shoveling his food down. Go, 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 go! We shout, slow down, Daddy, you'll choke! We don't actually call him Daddy. The Papa Bear goes to get dessert. The dessert is good. Coach makes us call him Harold. Jeez Louise, Harold! God damn it, Harold! We find a comedy while he cleans up, and Harold comes in and plops down. A button goes flying. We start the movie. Our is getting hard. He points out our... He also has an... We start doing the naughty with Harold. Ooh la la. The music caught me off guard. I fucking died laughing. He feels bad for the sex, and he feels like he manipulated us. He really didn't. We clean up the mess while Harold showers. We then change clothes and go to bed. Harold gave us a shirt to wear. He threw our clothes into the washer, and he cuddles us, and then we fall asleep. We wake up and we don't know where we are. And then we remember where we are. We also feel a slight humping motion. Look down and see what Harold is doing. We're like, oh. Harold wakes up after we wake him up, and we decide not to tell him that he was dry humping us. After eating breakfast, we go out because Harold has to go clothes shopping. We get to the shop and Harold goes to look around, and we also look around. We're like, one pair of underwear can be an entire outfit for us. Let me take that as a note. We get Harold to try on a shirt, and he's embarrassed about it because it's a muscle shirt that says Bear Belly. I kind of want that. He looks adorable in it, and we get him to choose a black one because black is an epic color. He shows us his other shirt, and he looks amazing in it because it's his favorite color. It's purple, I think. After checking out of the store, we head to the bookstore, and Harold goes to the fantasy section where we join him. He tells us all about his favorite fantasy series, and we stay there for a couple hours. Afterwards, Harold pays for the books, and we go to the buffet. We load up our plate a bit more, and Harold is a bit more conservative with his food this time. He really doesn't want to ruin another shirt. We get Harold to talk about how he got into teaching in tennis. Turns out he's always loved tennis, and he stopped playing because he broke his ankle. And Diana was there and he scared her because he roared really loud. Yeah, Harold can get really jealous sometimes as well. We finish dessert and go back to Harold's house, and we cuddle for a bit. He asks us what we liked the most about the naughty that we did, and the talk was probably the best. Basically everything except everything. Basically anything except everything. We take a nap with Harold, and when we wake up, we go back to the shelter, and Harold is embarrassed. Maria magically teleports in front of us, and she runs off to the oven because she left something in it. Coach gives us a kiss goodnight and leaves, and we promptly go to our room and pass the fuck out. We wake up and our bed feels empty. We text Harold, and we take a shower waiting for his response, and we completely forget that we have work. Harold is in class, and we feel like an idiot for not remembering that. We book it to the supply store because we completely forgot we have work, where Ted teaches us how to use the computer. Chester left behind his ID. Time to commit identity theft. It's pretty easy to use, and Ted gives us a little quiz, and we remember everything. Coach comes in to buy something, and we get everything that he needs. Afterwards, we ring him up. Can I see your ID? It looks like you. That's your ID. We finish up the transaction and leave early for practice. We meet up with Coach to get ready. We tease him a little bit. He looks adorable in his shirt. Coach got a lot of stares heading to the courts. Chester comes up to Coach and is like, yo, where'd you get that shirt? And Coach is like, oh, I probably shouldn't have worn this. And Chester's like, no, because I want one. It's fucking adorable. Darius, he wants all the details, and we provide some of them. Fucking finally, Darius gets some of the details that he wants. Darius then goes too far, and Coach yells at him and tells him to, quote, get your ass off the courts, end quote. Then Coach ends practice and goes to talk to Darius, in which he apologized. Darius apologized. Coach drives us home and we get to the shelter. Harold summons Maria. Using the power of Slay, she stops time and appears in front of our very eyes. She loves Harold's shirt. Harold takes his leave enough for kissing us, and we go to our room for the rest of the day. We join Harold for lunch, and we got cock-blocked by Spencer. He sees him being a Rooster Brick. Rooster Brick, noun, an asshole who spends every waking moment of their time preventing others from engaging in the act of... Coach rushed off. Spencer knows what's up. He knows that we're dating him. We sit down for Coach's lecture, and Coach's ex-wife showed up. We check on Harold in his office, and he's hurting. We help him through it a bit, and he's going to see his therapist again. Go to our math class. Then after that, we go back to his office and claim his chair. We start talking about math stuff. Unfortunately, Harold.exe has stopped working. Harold puts on some music while eating. It's really good music. And we make plans to go out with Harold the upcoming weekend. We go out for the day, and Diana stops us. Diana is being a little obsessive over Harold. She's just being a psycho bitch. I know some psycho bitches. Diana slaps us and throws herself to the ground, and Harold helps her. He notices that we're bleeding, and he's like, yo, what the fuck did you do? Get out, Diana, get out! As well as Spencer defending us. We go to the nurse's office, and Dozer is there. Hiya, kaiju baby girl! And Dozer cleans up our wound. Dozer is being pretty sus about Chester, and we go to the shelter. We text Harold periodically, and he rarely responds. Harold is going to stay at the shelter tonight. Maria comes back with pillows and blankets. Harold says he'll be fine without a shower. Maria is not having it. We join Coach in the shower room and he completely strips, and we decide to join him in the nakedness. We finish our shower and hand off Harold's clothes to Maria. He joins us in our room and he's only in his underwear. Harold lays down and we join him in the laying down and we both pass the fuck out. We wake up, unaware of how time works or why we're in pain. We look up and see Harold, and he gives us a massage as a sorry. He gets dressed and goes to class, and we sleep a little more. We wake up and we talk to Maria a bit. We feel a little upset how he reacted. You know, whenever he took Diana's side and almost murdered us, except he didn't almost murder us. We make cake and beef tips with rice for lunch. We then show up to Harold's office and we talk to him a bit about what happened. We felt betrayed. Turns out our date with Harold has been taken care of. It's a fancy dinner, then a musical. Harold loves the cake. Not our ass. We leave and Harold kisses us. We go to the courts and Spencer shows up after us. He knows that we're on a first-name basis with Harold. Darius shows up and he wants all the details. Then Coach shows up and we're with Spencer today. We practice with him for a bit. We did our best, but Spencer still Alt F4'd our ass. Though he had to work for it. Right, bitch. We distracted Harold a bit, and he got hit in the belly with a tennis ball. After the matches, Coach ends practice, and Harold gives us a ride home. We give Harold a kiss goodbye, and we call him Papa Bear. He goes to his office, and we go to our room. We take a shower, and Harold asks us to prove it. We do without him seeing the peepness. He calls us soon after someone entered his house. Harold did a sweep through of his house, and the stuffed bear we got him was destroyed. He gets his locks replaced. He then hops into the shower and he sends us a naughty picture. I'm officially halfway through these notes. We wake up worried about Harold. We get ready and go downstairs. Maria, using the power of being the better Megan trainer, is already there. We let her know that we'll be home late tonight. Maria tells us to tell Harold to file a police report. We get to class and we run a little late. Harold is doing paperwork stuff at his desk. Class starts and we're distracted. Darius wakes us the fuck up with an joke. Class ends and we talk to Coach. We then go to our next class, and after that we go back to Coach's room. We go to the buffet with Harold, and Harold is in an older shirt. He doesn't want to break another one, and he tries to get us to eat it with him. We try to say no. We don't want to blow up like the Violet from Willy Wonka. We comply anyway. Harold gets desserts, and it is a land of sugar. He fed us some coffee cake, and it was good. We then go to Harold's therapist's office. Harold feels a little bad, and we show him some understanding. Harold goes to talk to his therapist. Yeah, time for some Kingdom Hearts Union Cross single player because the server is gone while we wait for Harold. Harold comes out of the office and we leave. Harold then tells us his plan to move on from Diana, and we're here to help him. He goes to file a police report, and we figure out the cameras. He uses networking. I fucking hated networking in my IT training. We set up the monitors while Harold mounts the brackets for the cameras. We go out and climb a ladder to mount the camera. And Harold, looking up, he does a little grab, and he's all like, Shouty got looks and Shouty got class, Shouty got hips and Shouty got ass. We finish mounting the first camera when a cop shows up. Oh man, I don't want to get questioned again. He's here to file the report. Harold gives details to the officer, and we finish installing the cameras while the cop questions the neighbors. The cop shows back up, and Harold gets a restraining order against Diana. We show Harold how to use the security system. We then start helping Harold remove Diana's stuff from his house. We start to clear up pictures in his room. He went into his closet. Harold is breaking down in the closet. He's upset. We help him a bit. He tells us he loves us, and we love him too. We finish doing our tasks, and Harold orders pizza. We tell Harold to call us if he needs to talk. We eat pizza, and Harold drives us home. He doesn't come in to tell Maria hi. We go inside. Maria uses a warp pipe to enter the scene, and she asks us how everything went. We then go up to our room and we fucking die. We don't actually die, though. We're sitting on the patio swing, and we're gonna write a sonnet for him. Go to our room and start writing. This wasn't the best idea. We head downstairs and Harold shows up to pick us up. He then goes to change. Maria, using the power of hearing she took from Casa Madrigal, she hears Harold. But she was too late. Literally, Mother then teases us for a bit and Harold comes back and Maria is now happy. She's going to make dinner. Harold tries to argue.
I'm making dinner, Harold, don't argue with me.
No one can argue with literally Mother. We leave and turns out Richard was in the bathroom. He wondered the same thing Maria was wondering, why we weren't helping Harold change. He also asked about Harold's size. He's talking about Harold's. We're okay if Harold finds other guys attractive. We're also okay if other people find him attractive. We get to the courts before anyone else and Spencer shows up. He knows. We then go practice with Darius. He wants all the details, and we'll tell him all the details if he wins. He doesn't win. We get some sexy stuff from Darius, and Coach comes by to check on us. Darius lost the match. Coach lost his match against Spencer. We talked to Chester for a bit after his match. He is absolutely shooketh that Darius didn't play mind games. We decide to play Labyrinths and Lizards with Dozer and Chester. And Coach joins. Coach used to love L&L. We go back to the shelter and Maria finished dinner. It's a taco bake. Fuck yeah. Tacos. Richard is joining, and if he doesn't behave, he gets no dessert. We have a packed schedule for the weekend, and Richard makes a sex joke about stuff being packed.
For your ability to reproduce.
While Harold and Maria talk about L&L, we help Richard clean up. Turns out, Maria didn't remove Richard's childbearing abilities. She just Thanos snapped his foot with her foot. Richard asks when we're moving in with Harold, and he grabs the cake in the meantime. Harold sees the cake. We gather our clothes for our date the next day. Maria loves our idea to write a poem for Harold. Richard gives us shoes and socks for our date because we didn't have any, and we get back to Harold's house and he hangs up the clothes. We go take a shower in the guest bathroom while he showers. Harold then shows us his L&L stuff. He sings a song from his old campaign. He has a baritone voice. We go to bed with Harold and we like to sleep on our side. We pass out against Harold. We wake up to Harold's snoring, and we get out of bed. Time to make breakfast. We finish making breakfast and we go to wake up Harold. He's already awake. He loves that we put sugar and butter into the grits. We divide up the food and Harold completely devours his. He then cleans up the kitchen and we go make a character. There are a lot of options. We go with the fighter character. We get our character figured out with Harold and we eat lunch then cuddle on the couch. Harold tells us that he prefers to read in his free time. We also like reading. I mean, come on, this is a visual novel game. And our is hard. Harold calls us Baby Bear, and we choose to accept the name. Harold goes to take a shower, and we read his L&L books while he's in there. Afterwards, we all go to the shelter, and we change our clothes. Harold tells us to change in our room, which, okay. He shows himself off to us, and we do the same in return. We go downstairs to show Maria, and Maria would gladly join us if she could. Richard gives her a reality check.
I can dream!
Richard.
Maria and Richard pair us off with them for a possible double date, and we leave. Richard was kinda being cryptic. Harold tells us Richard helped him a bit, and we get to the restaurant and we feel very underdressed. We enter the restaurant, and with these prices, Gordon Ramsay better be fucking cooking. Jokes. We talk to Harold about each other. We talk to him about how the other is, I don't know. And its favorite color is purple. We like blue. His birthday is November 16th, and he'll be 34. Our birthday is... Our appetizers arrive, and we need as much room as possible for the main course. There isn't much room for conversation between bites. We can't finish our main entree, so we feed it to Harold. We share the cheesecake. It's dessert. Harold might pass the fuck out after eating. We'll tickle him if he passes out. He warns us not to tickle him. Gonna get ready to die. Get ready to die! Harold might bite us. Kinky. We leave and make our way to the theater, and the prices everywhere are insane! What the hell? We go to the theater and Harold gets our tickets. We sit down in our seats and the show starts. Act 1 ends and the show is good. intermission time. Time for the intermission of the show, not this video. The show ends and we want the soundtrack. Harold loves the show and he takes us on one last stop. It's a cliffside facing the city. Diana is a bitch. Harold tells her to go to hell. Hear that, Diana? Fuck you. We go back home and we help Harold out of his suit. Harold takes Unfortunately, Adrian.exe has stopped working. He looks hot. We start doing sexy gay. We pass the fuck out exhausted. I'm recording, it's almost been a whole hour. When we wake up, it's quiet. A little too quiet. The bed is also empty. Harold emerges and we take a shower while Harold cleans up. We get dressed and head into the living room and Harold isn't dressed. He then gets dressed and makes breakfast. While eating, Harold drops a fucking bombshell on us. We weren't safe while... We are shocked. Harold says it's okay, and we decide to go skinny dipping into the pool. But first, chores. Harold will finish doing the dishes if we sweep up the floors, and we finish in less time than expected. We then gather our towels and head outside. We'll strip and jump into the pool, and Harold is being a goober. We're excited to play L&L, and Harold teases us in the water. We take a shower with Harold, and we like cold showers. While Harold washes us, we discuss what the others will choose for L&L classes. Us and Harold start in the shower. We start washing Harold, and we try to get revenge. We failed. We get out of the shower, and the team arrives, and Chester starts setting up the game. Darius wants all the details about our life with Harold. And Spencer joins the conversation. We want him to save us. Turns out, Spencer fucking Control-C, Control-V Darius, and he's the new Darius. He's a new Darius. We start the campaign. Too long don't read, we get a soul box. Everyone had fun with L&L. Everyone except Darius starts cleaning up and everyone leaves. Harold takes us back to the shelter and we go inside. Maria left us something to write our poem with. Nice. We text Harold asking if he wants to have lunch. He said no. We decide to not work on our poem. We instead go to the college. We head to the courts and Harold is hiding something from us. We have a practice match with Chester and we talk to Chester for a bit. Coach tells us to get to work and we go at it. We obliterate Chester in the match. Chester was distracted and we have another set with him and we beat his ass again. Harold has something to talk about with us, and he doesn't give us a ride home. Maria tells us Diana stopped by. We tell Maria, in response, that Diana is not good news. Maria then makes dinner for us and Harold. We go get ready and practice with our quill some more, and Harold shows up. Maria greets him, dinner will be ready soon. We eat dinner while telling Maria all about the L&L campaign. Maria is enjoying listening to our weekend. After dinner, we go up to our room with Harold. Someone reported him for having a sexual relationship with a student. And Diana has been stalking Harold. We have to be careful with Harold. Harold then realizes that we have a hickey, and we tell him that we kinda like it. He liked it. We settle down before we get a call from him. He explains that Richard offered to be a stand-in. We jokingly say, alright, I'ma head out, We do naughty phone stuff with Harold, and it's pretty fucking detailed. Harold then falls asleep with the phone on, and we're not too far behind. We get to the classroom. We're scared to enter the room. Spencer knows something is up, and we leave out what's actually bothering us. We can't focus on the lecture, and Harold passes out the homework. On ours is a note asking us to go to his place. We finish our class, then head home. We ask Richard to give us a ride, and he's okay with it. He's honestly happy that he didn't stick his dick in crazy. Richard gives us a ride, and we get to Harold's place. We get comfortable on the couch, and we hear glass shattering. Diana broke in. We go hide in Harold's closet. We call the police and they're on their way. Diana then rips the door open and she's just acting crazy. It's genuinely terrifying. She then tells us that we're a sickness or something. She then slits her hand open. She slices it open with the knife that she's holding, rubs some blood on her face, and falls to the ground screaming. The police arrive and we get handcuffed. Diana is the one that actually gets arrested. We go inside with the cop and go over everything that happened. We want to press charges and file a protective order against Diana. We then clean up and relax. Harold gets home with dinner and we jump into his arms. Harold knows something is up and he feels bad, and we show him what's wrong. He flips the fuck out when he finds out what happened, and we tell him everything. He goes to take a shower while we call Richard. Richard says it's okay, says he's okay in helping out with the window. Then go relax on the couch and Harold joins us. Richard arrives and Harold goes and gets dressed, even though it's like, Richard would probably appreciate it if he didn't. Richard says it's an easy fix and he goes to get everything needed. He gets the window measured and he gets back. He says Harold's ass is nice. We tell him to have a little feel for himself, and he does. Harold is a little embarrassed, and we go check on how Richard is doing. We then tease Richard a bit, telling him that the way we act with Harold is different in the bedroom. God damn! Turning into a real fucking... a little shit. Turning into a little shit. We go back out to Harold, and he's reading a book. We then tell Harold that Richard finished working. Harold gets his wallet to pay Richard, and Richard is a little pissed off because he got a 20 instead of a 10. Harold hugs Richard and we go to bed. We rub Harold's belly until he falls asleep. We're not too far behind him in terms of sleep. We wake up. We're gonna be late for class, and we try getting Harold up. But he isn't waking up. We try shaking him awake. He isn't moving. We then notice the empty pill bottle in his hand. Refusing to accept what's happening, we try desperately to get him to wake up. And Diana shows up. She lunges at us with a knife. We actually wake up now. We woke Harold up. He comforts us and we were crying. We tell him about our dream and he continues to comfort us. He gets ready for class, and he forgot to close the bathroom door. He didn't think much about it, and we're fine with it. He kisses us goodbye as he leaves, and we go back to sleep. We get ready to go to the shelter. We lost our phone. Never mind, we found it! Our phone was next to the bear we got Harold. The bear was destroyed. We take it with us for Maria to fix. We get to the shelter, and we're going to practice with the quill. But first, we give the bear to Maria to fix. And then we go upstairs to work, and Maria gets us for lunch. And Richard joins us. Richard is keeping track of what he does for us for a favor. Maria will stab Richard 4,768 times in the chest if he does. Richard teases us about writing a poem. And Maria's like, oh, I wish someone would write me a poem. And Richard's like, oh, really? We finish lunch and help Maria clean up. We then go back to our room and practice writing more. And Richard drives us to the courts. Coach gets to the courts and Darius says we should defend our man. We tell him to fuck off in a kind manner. We then have a match with Harold with Coach, and he's winning. He then deleted our confidence by telling us that we would have to run 21 laps. Bye-bye, legs. It then starts raining. Coach starts teasing us about being made of sugar. Bitch, I'm not made of sugar. I'm gay. If I'm wet, then it's harder to slay. He's about to kiss us, and we get stopped by Darius. Spencer joins Darius, and Chester and Dozer run off. We head off with Harold and we get our clothes at the shelter. Richard flustered Harold. We leave before Maria hears us talking inappropriate. We get back to Harold's house and he gets the towels and prepare the water. We prepare the water. Fuck. Thinking about getting romantical with Harold and maybe Richard in the shower. Harold gives us advice about playing tennis in the shower. We actually start in the shower. God damn it. After sexy times, we actually get clean and we go burn data onto a CD. It's data from when Diana broke into the house. We snoop through Harold's notebook. It's pretty steamy. Harold ordered food and it arrives and we thoroughly enjoy it with Harold. After cleaning up, we go to bed. We then go to the bathroom before going to bed, actually, and we don't worry about closing the bathroom door, and we pass the fuck out cuddling with Harold. We wake up. Harold was waking us up. We had a naughty dream, and we get ready for class, where Harold drives us. Spencer arrives, and we ask him to give us a ride to the police station. Darius wants all the details. And this time he swears on his bike to not tell anyone. So we tell him. And Darius is like, that sounds like a psycho bitch. We leave to go to the police station, and we decide that Darius should deliver Harold's lunch. Well, Darius is the one that suggested it, we agreed with it, because it makes the most sense. We give the CD with the footage to the cop, and we get back to the school, from which Darius leaves. We tell Spencer what's up, and we go back to the shelter. Harold calls us, and we're going to go to his house. We ask Richard for a ride. He's still waiting on his invite. Not today, Richard. We go around the house, and the gate lock is broken. We hear shattering noise. We quickly call Richard, and he checks through the house, and no one's around. We tell him what happened with Diana, and Richard fixes the gate. Harold gets home, and he has groceries. We feel bad for having Richard in the house working on stuff, and we told Harold, and Harold, despite being upset that we invited someone inside without his permission, he's also happy that we're okay. Harold then starts making dinner, and he shows us his old rugby uniform. It's kinda small. I'm not gonna say anything. It's getting hot in here. He then gets out of his uniform, and he tells us about his first crush, and it is adorable, but also, like, okay. We eat dinner, and then we go take a shower with Harold. We start doing in the shower. God damn! Go to bed after actually getting clean. Harold's alarm wakes us up, and we get to the college. Harold kisses us on the cheek before we go to the courts. We play a match with Spencer, and afterwards he asks us how we're doing. We're good. We ask him about Darius, because Spencer kind of got left with Darius. This time, we want all the details. Get fucked, Darius. Darius then shows up, and we get a phone call from Ted. Remember him? We're on the schedule. Coach gets to the courts, and Spencer is obliterating Darius. We're going to practice our serve with Coach. The enemy arrives. Time to destroy them. Coach gives us words of encouragement, and our match goes well. We won! Hooray! Yippee! Harold hugs us, and Richard makes a comment. Maria yells at him at a teeny tiny bit. We go play our doubles match with Spencer, and Darius makes a comment about Spencer's crotch. Spencer grabs Darius and drags him to watch the other match. Everyone won! Yay! Everyone then leaves soon after. Harold talks to us, and we get lunch and head home. We decide to take a bath with Harold. We tell him what Darius was talking about. He isn't surprised. The winner was Chester, by the way, whose crotch did the most movement. Harold starts doing naughty stuff. We get into the shower after and rinse off. After, Harold does some writing while we vibe. We go into the kitchen to see if we can help with dinner. Harold's answer is no. We talk to him at the table for a bit, though. Harold doesn't want to tell us about what he wrote. If we behave, though, we might be allowed to read it. Dinner finishes cooking, and we eat dinner. After dinner, we'll read. We finish dinner, and we might get to read what Harold wrote tomorrow. For now, movie time. We can get the movie. We go to bed, and we're petting Harold as he falls asleep. We then pass out as well. We wake up to thunder. We decide to make breakfast. It's waffles. Fuck yeah! Waffles are pancakes with pockets. Harold doesn't let us go until his stomach grumbles. Then get dressed, insert and sausage joke here. We get started cooking breakfast, and when we finish cooking breakfast, we summon Harold. Whomst has summoned the Almighty One. Harold drowns his waffles in syrup. He then dribbles syrup on our wiener for foreplay. We go clean up, and we laze on the couch while Harold writes in his office. Maria invited us over for lunch. She also finished repairing the bear. We tell Harold, and he goes back to the creativity. Afterwards, we get to the shelter, and Maria pulls us aside to hand us the bear she fixed. Thank you, literally, Mother. She thinks that it will be an amazing surprise. We go back downstairs, and after dinner, Harold and us go out to the patio. We talk for a bit, and then we go back to Harold's house. We cuddle on the couch after getting out of the wet clothes. Us and Harold have a difficult conversation. Our incident with Diana was on the news, and Harold decided to resign from the school. This scene is the second most perfect scene in the game. The number one scene is later. Harold goes back to his office to keep writing. We forgot the surprise for Harold, and we text Maria. We ask Harold if we can have the L&L session at lunch. We go into his office and ask that, and he's okay with it, but we don't pay the KISS tax when leaving his office. We then text the others. Everyone is okay with it. Darius wants all the details, and we tell him no. Harold collects the overdue fine from skipping out on the KISS toll. Harold then goes to take pictures of the outside, and we try to figure out dinner. It's chicken and fries. We summon Harold for dinner, and he teleports in. We will never let Maria read he wrote. Honestly, fair enough. We decide to take a bubble bath with Harold. We retire to bed after and read. Harold lets us read his. Nice! We turn off the lights and pass the fuck out. We wake up surrounded by Bear. We wonder if we can talk him out of resigning. He wakes up and goes to make breakfast. We're not allowed to, apparently. He teases us to get us out of bed. We get out of bed. We talk to Harold about his decision to resign, and his mind is made up. Kind of. Yeah, it's made up. We finish helping Harold clean up for breakfast after eating it, and we start getting ready to go to Highs. Richard calls saying he needs a better look at the yard, and that we forgot something. Harold is going to go to Highs alone, and we get dressed and wait for Richard. Richard shows up and takes some measurements. I don't remember this section. Granted, it's been a couple years since the last time I played this route. We go inside, and Richard will sit in his truck if we keep pestering him for all the details. Richard hands us what we forgot at the shelter, and we go hide in Harold's closet. Harold then returns, and Richard helps Harold put the grill together. We make chicken and fries for lunch. We then take a nap, but Harold talks dirty first. We wake up and the team arrives. Only Spencer and Darius. Darius is being a pain to Spencer, and everyone else arrived. We start setting up for the game, and everyone levels up. The L&L game. We're keeping the soul box. We go to a city. A bitch shows up wanting the soul box. Fuck you. We beat the shit out of some kobolds, and Darius' character charms the boss. The campaign ends, and they make a little bit of fun of us for being gay, which, okay, you're all gay. I thought we were over this. We talk to Harold a bit about quick campaign fixes, and then Harold is going to get dinner started. We're going to do some skinny dipping, though. We start eating dinner, and the conversation is kind of creepy. Harold jumps into the pool, and we have a heartfelt conversation in the pool. Then we go take a shower. We finish cleaning and go eat cake. We get Harold his surprise, and he loves it. Harold goes to check his mail, and he got a publishing deal. Oh, hell yeah. We gotta celebrate that. We go to the bedroom, and we do gay naughty things with Harold. Jesus Christ, it's even in the shower! Harold asks us to move in. We don't really have a choice. Nice move, DyneWulf, offering only the only choice that everyone would choose. If you say you wouldn't choose it, you're a liar. We cuddle in bed with Harold, and we fall asleep in his arms. The end. Haha, just kidding, the story's not over yet. We get to class late. Harold is our teacher. Wait. Something is wrong. There's something wrong here. I can't tell what it is. Oh wait, yes I can. It's called Didn't He Fucking Quit? We go to his office. Why is he naked? And why the fuck is Chester here? He's telling me to roll for initiative. Like, what? We wake up from our DIY dream. We convince Harold to have 5 more minutes of cuddling. And he's like, fine. But that's like 5 less minutes in the shower, which goddammit. We get into the shower with Harold. Afterwards, we get dressed, eat breakfast, and go to the bookstore. When we get to the bookstore, there is a huge line of people. Unfortunately, Harold.exe has stopped working. We get inside, and our job is to keep Harold from breaking. We already failed. Just kidding, we didn't fail, you silly fluffy boy. The first fan went well, and soon after, Maria and Richard get to the front of the line. Literally, Mother doesn't give Richard a choice with the book. We all get a picture, and Harold gets through the line easily. A few stragglers show up, Dwayne arrives, he's another route. Officer Gurr shows up, he gets an autograph from Harold and Dwayne. Dwayne painted the cover of his book. After the book signing event, we go to the buffet for lunch. We talk with Harold while eating lunch, and his therapist told him to stop with the self-deprecating humor. We then he talks about possibly losing his gut about exercising, and we're like, well, naughty stuff is good for exercise, and he's like, fair enough. We go back to the house and we cuddle while watching TV. Soon after we wake Harold up, it's time for Lizards and Labyrinths. Spencer greets us with a hug. Harold is like, oh, wow. And Darius is like, maybe you shouldn't, because Harold might hit you over the head with a racket. And Harold's like, nah, I could never hit him over the head with a racket. A fist, maybe, but not a racket. Spencer considered not showing up to L&L at all to read Harold's book. Then Chester and Dozer arrive, and we start playing L&L. Too long, don't read. Labyrinths and Lizards was a ploy. Harold proposed to us. And we say yes. The moment is then interrupted by pizza, and Darius and Spencer go get the pie. Turns out Chester is an amazing storyteller, and they talk about making a visual novel. Wait a goddamn motherfucking minute! Harold asks how practice has been going, and everyone heads out. We and Harold then do inappropriate things, and we cuddle with Harold and talk about the future. We propose to him, and he says yes. The last line is, I love you. This is going to be a pretty personal section, mostly about how I came across furry visual novels as a whole. I've already gave like a brief note description about everything that was going on Twitter, or X now as it's called, back on my birthday. That was like several months ago. This is a more in-depth version. So if you don't want to listen to it, use the timestamps that are there. Just use those and skip ahead to the outro where it's a little more lighthearted, because this is not a lighthearted story. If you've read through that Twitter thread that I posted, you already have a general idea of what happened. You already know what happened for the most part, but I'll get into it. Essentially, to give you an idea, in case you haven't read it, I was not in a good place back then. It was bad. It was really, really fucking bad. I had just come out of the worst year of my life, and the bullying wasn't as bad. It was more personal shit going on, like, mostly in my own head. And I was deeply, deeply unhappy. Like, I was about to kill myself, take my own life, and I had shit planned out. It was not good. I had no reason to live. I had zero reason to keep going. I did not have any reasons to stay alive at all. You might think, because I was actually in high school at the time, oh, well, school could be your reason to stay alive. No, because that past year going to school was absolute hell for me. Or, oh, but you have friends. Yes, I started to get a pretty decent friend group at the time. But in my mind, I was just thinking, I'm going to let them all down. I'm going to fucking piss them all off at some point. And I still think that at times. But now, I had no reason. Like, I was also going to a trade school at the time, learning IT, and I had some friends there, but because they all already had their shit figured out, and I didn't, and in some ways still don't, it made me feel like I was being left behind, and I still have that feeling. But what I really wanted to get into was how I found extracurricular activities. So, it's 2 a.m., I'm laying down on a couch in my parents' house, in the living room, and I'm scrolling through my phone, and I come across a video that says it's something about Coach Grifter, and I click on it, and I enjoyed that video. so I rewatched it, and I'm like, you know what, this game looks interesting. I'm gonna play it. So I go down to the comments to try and figure out what it is, completely ignoring the description. Wait, does that website even have descriptions for their videos? I don't know. So I scroll down, I read the comments, and one of the comments said, Coach Grip said this game is Extracurricular Activities by DyneWulf. So I go over there and I find it, and I download and play it. I did not realize at the time how much of an impact that it would have on my life. Oh god, it just sounded like a fucking preacher talking about how he discovered Christianity at the time. The first time. I didn't realize how profoundly it would change my life, because it did. Like, it changed my life in a huge, massive way. I was deeply unhappy, and just playing that, it gave me an escape from reality. I remember completing everything. Now, at the time that I played this, the route that I talked about in this video, it wasn't completed yet. It went up to day 32, I think, or day 33. No, it went up to day 34 and then it ended. And I played all the other routes, but in the middle of playing Chester's route, I stopped playing it, and I started playing Chemo Coliseum back when it was still, available for public download. I think that ended in, 2019, 2020, around there. And I remember playing it every chance that I got. Every chance I had. I still remember seeing the old Sprite art back when the transition between the old Sprite art and the new Sprite art was happening. I remember that. And I don't know. I like the new Sprite art. I like the old Sprite art. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't fucking matter what my opinion is. I'm just a guy on the internet. But at the same time, after that, then COVID happened. And we all know what happened with COVID. Lockdown. And, yeah, not too long after that, I discovered Ad Astra. And I would play it at 3 in the morning. I was sobbing. I was sobbing while sitting in my bed playing it at 3 in the morning. But yeah, I replay this game at least once a year. I replay it, and I keep falling in love with it. That's why I decided to make this video. Why I decided that this video was a good idea. Why I made it as a whole. Because this game truly does hold a special place in my heart. And it always will, because it was my introduction to furry visual novels and furry games and the furry community as a whole. If I didn't find this game when I did, I don't know where I'd be. There's a huge possibility that I might actually be dead. So, I love this game with all my heart. And yeah, that's also why I bought the Coach Grifter plushie, because I love it. And yeah, on to the outro, because I imagine you don't want to be here all day. Well, this has been an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, this has been interesting. But yeah, whether or not you watch the personal shit, or you watch the entire video, I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making this video, and just like with my E621 videos, I hope to make more of these, but this video has been in my mind for fucking 3 years now, and I finally made it and finished it. I didn't actually start working on it until I think a month ago. I don't fucking know. I didn't start working on it until not too long ago, but the idea was always there. It was always there, and yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and as always, this was the game that saved my life. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all later.